sorry. Yeah, okay. All right. We are in my home here in Wichita, Kansas. So, born and raised here, and, it's always been home. I was a hotel broker, and she came to work for my company that I worked at, and I had been there forever. I was really good at my job, and I met my wife, and something about her, I just wanted to be around her.
Will that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay. We became fast friends, and like I said, we were friends at work, friends outside of work, and it was never supposed to be more than that, and we've been best friends forever. So we're actually a blended family, and the kids love each other. We've worked really well together. Everything has just always gone really well together. It is always chaos, but I thrive in chaos, so things have always gone really well together. He's a dad that the kids absolutely need. His dad was his best friend, but became his best friend later in life.
He got brain cancer, and it was really fast. Took a leave of absence from my company that I worked at and spent 6 months with him from beginning to end. But he was such a positive person. He was with me my whole life, and the least I could do is be with him for what little life he had left. So yeah, it was the right thing to do. So I decided, it's time to pursue something that I'm happy with, and I just so happened to see a LinkedIn post for Access Systems. I'd never sold copiers or printers before, but that didn't scare me, right? But I saw it and I was like, this looks interesting. So I applied, and I got a phone call back from a recruiter, and we talked, and then I started meeting people, talked about the culture, and how the culture was top notch. And I was kind of like, yeah, right. Everybody says that, right? But it's been true every day. And it's just amazing.
The first time I met Earl, he came up to Des Moines to do the training class that all new hires go through. Super positive, kind of just tons of energy, and he was ready to go. And I was like, slow down a little bit, let's get you trained up before you go hit the streets. One of the things that right away he started doing was every day he gets on the team chat and he says good morning to everybody. And it's just the little things that really make a difference, and the positivity and everything that he brings. Like, he's got a ton of energy. He's just excited to be here every day. And he's a very humble person. And yeah, I think the world needs more Earls.
So I don't like going to doctors, and I'm busy and I don't have time for it, right? So I put things off, right? But you're right. I feel good. I feel healthy. Never really had any symptoms or weirdness, really. But I was at my physical. My doctor said to me, hey, Earl, it's time for a colonoscopy. And you've been putting this off for a couple of years now. Let's just get it done. And I was like, come on, I'm fine. Like, I'm good. I don't need it. And he's like, yeah, you do. It's time. Let's just do it. Let's knock it out. So I said, okay. Stop hounding me about it. Let's just do it. Let's get it done. So I was waking up, and the doctor that did my colonoscopy came in, and she said, hey, really glad you came in today. And I thought, that's a weird thing to say. And then she said, we found 3 polyps in your colon. And I said, oh, okay. And she said, one was 5 millimeters. And I said, okay. And she goes, one was 6 millimeters. And I said, okay. And then she said, and the last one was 25 millimeters. And we're pretty concerned about that one. But then it was kind of funny. She said, but don't worry. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day. I was like, yeah, right. So she said, we'll get test results, and I'll let you know as soon as I hear something. The next day I went to work, right? and did my thing. And I just tried to keep my mind off of it. And I sat down at my desk and my phone rings.
So he called me and said that the first doctor, Dr. Hunt, called and said that they got the results back and that he has colon cancer.
Do you have colon cancer? Literally, just said it like that.
So September comes along, we're rolling, the team's doing really good. Earl's got a lot of deals working. He's working, you know, he's moving in the right direction. He's got a lot of stuff going for him. And, you know, he calls me up and just kind of lays it on me. He's just like, you know, I've got cancer. And it took me a minute. I had to step back a second and just kind of think about that. Like, what does that mean, you know? And I don't know. It was just hard. It was hard when he said what he was going through. For someone that's that positive to have something like that happen, it was really frustrating or really tough.
I actually met Earl through one of my partners who performed a colonoscopy, and she called me and said it was a very nice young guy who kind of had a bad problem and that he was pretty nervous about it. She had called him and let him know, but that he was probably going to need surgery. And so I met him in clinic and explained what my partner had found when she did her scope on him, and you know, he was understandably very nervous.
The next day I went and met with the surgeon, and you know, he talked about the cancer that I have and how it's, you know, invasive, aggressive, and that he's going to have to remove 6 inches in my colon.
That was the theme that kept coming up: is, am I going to be okay? Am I going to be alive for my wife and my kids? You know, and I think that was the thing that I noticed the most. He wasn't concerned that much about what type of surgery we're going to do or whether or not we would need chemotherapy, radiation. Am I gonna be okay? Am I gonna be around for my wife and kids after this is all done?
They're full steam ahead for surgery on the 27th of September. So I went from September 9th having a colonoscopy, 2 days later being told to have colon cancer, and like what, 2 weeks later, going in for surgery. I wanted to be strong. You know, I didn't want to tell him, hey, I'm falling apart inside, you know. I'm scared, and I was. So I tried not to show that too much.
Everyone came together with thoughts and prayers and well wishes and donations before the buttons, donations after the buttons, the buttons themselves. They've been absolutely amazing during this time. We're obviously in Wichita, but it just feels like a huge hub around us all from Access Systems.
So I got test results back, and I am 100% cancer free. Yeah. Thank you. They got all the cancer. So I have to have yearly colonoscopies now, which I'll take it, you know, but just once a year.
I would say that Earl is inspirational for the reasons we just talked about. Probably didn't want to get a colonoscopy, but went through with it, and I think he has carried himself through this so wonderfully, and I think he did it more for his family than he did himself. I mean, it was so evident to me that he didn't fear for himself as much as he feared for his family with his diagnosis.
I knew that my company had my back, and that Access Cares was there for me, and it was just comforting.
It helps put a light in a very dark time, right? It helps them take at least the financial burden off of, you know, the things that are coming, but also the emotional support that's there. I'm sure if you talk to Earl, I wasn't the only one who reached out to him. You know, I know there was a lot of other people that care, and I would say that that's encompassed in Access Care. It's hard to measure that, you know, but it's more than just, you know, a financial benefit or anything like that.
Our culture, a lot of fun. The people that work here are great human beings, so they're kind. They enjoy each other's company. We do also combo with that we have a lot of fun together and a lot of events. We work really hard. What we do is an extremely hardworking job, but because we have also a stable, low turnover environment, people develop relationships. There's very much a family feel inside of our company, and we encourage that as much as possible.
When he sent his not welcome back, but like he's coming back email, he ended it with, Access truly does care. And I feel that truly from Access Systems.
Access Cares is just a very special thing.